What's going on, guys? Andre Hagel Jr. here from Client Ascension, here with another student spotlight interview featuring Andrej. You got a great name, by the way, bro. I have to say it first thing.
Thank you, thank you. You too, you too.
Yeah, bro. Well, dude, thank you for being here. You've been in the program. We were just talking about it off camera for almost a year now. And so longer than the average student, and you're crushing it, just coming off a record month. And so, real quick, just for the audience, can you just let them know who you are and what you're currently working on? Like, what is your agency sell?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm Andre, based in Germany, and I run a growth agency for e-commerce brands. So we basically help e-commerce businesses scale, get more sales, mostly by managing their paid ads, so Google Ads and Meta Ads. But we also help them with other parts of the business, like increasing the website for conversion, the conversion rate on the website, and also helping them with increasing their average order value, their customer lifetime value, and just basically allowing them to scale as profitably as possible.
That's awesome, bro. Yeah, one thing I love to ask is like, that's your offer today. That's great. But like a year ago when you joined Client Ascension, how has your offer changed? How is it different today? Maybe it's the same, maybe it's better. Like, what does it look like before and after?
Yeah, great question. So when I originally joined the program, I was still more of a freelancer and just doing a lot of different stuff for a lot of different businesses. So I still worked with like service-based businesses, but mostly was already focusing on e-commerce brands and working with those and just managing their paid ads. Then when I joined, first I wanted to focus only on Google Ads. So my first offer was increasing the revenue by 50K per month using Google Ads for e-commerce businesses. And I did that for, I'd say, 3 or 4 months. And it worked very good. And I got a couple of good clients. But then I wanted to expand my offer again because I just love other aspects of scaling businesses. So also doing like meta ads. And I noticed that with a lot of brands, it's not enough if you just manage their ads. They also need help with their website and with their business overall. And like you can have the best ads in the world if you send them to a landing page that is not optimized, they will
Mm.
not convert, they will not generate results. So I basically transitioned more into a growth partner approach or more like the holistic growth approach to really make sure that I can get the best results for the clients as possible and really get them to the goals that they want.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that, bro. It's so important because like people will come into a program like Client Ascension, or maybe they're not in a program, they just have success early on with an offer and they think that that offer is just going to stay the same and it never has to change, it never has to improve, it never has to pivot or evolve. But like offers have a life cycle to them and they always have to just become increasingly more valuable, especially as the marketplace gets more and more competitive, right? Like there's other people out there that do e-commerce growth and e-commerce services. And so how do you stand out and how do you do a better job than your competitors? You just make it more valuable. And I think being in a program like Client Ascension is helpful to see that because you also, funny enough, like went through those same things, right? So like your clients, they figure out how to do ads and then all of a sudden their website's not converting, so they need to focus on the website. So maybe for you, you figured out how to do lead gen but your offer is not converting or your VSL wasn't converting. So like going through the program of Client Ascension, what were some of those things you figured out early on that you struggled with or had roadblocks or bottlenecks with early on, like lead gen, sales, fulfillment? What was it for you?
Yeah, I'd say everything was a roadblock at like the specific stages of the business. So when I joined, I had like a website, but I didn't have a VSL at all and never had a VSL. So that was also very difficult for me in the beginning. It took me a very long time. I think it took me 2 months to have like
Wow.
the first VSL ready just because I was like overthinking it and procrastinating and doing like other stuff because I just didn't know like how to do it and wasn't feeling comfortable with. That was the biggest roadblock in the beginning. Also, with the landing page, I had like landing pages before, so that wasn't that big of an issue. It was more the VSL side. And then just with cold emails, the same thing. I've tried cold emailing in the past, but on a like completely different level. just like like in the beginning, a couple years ago, I was like manually cold emailing businesses in my area and like local businesses. That's how I got my first like client, I think 4 years ago. Then I tried like some automation, some automated cold emails, but also like without any personalization. I didn't have a clear structure when it comes to the copy, how to find the lead. So after I had my VSL, I basically focused on the cold email aspect, really joined like all the calls for that, asked the coaches for feedback, and dialed in the cold email stuff. And then the next bottleneck was the sales side. So again, like obviously watched all the content on the sales stuff, joined all the sales coaching calls, did like mock calls with other students and client ascension, and still doing that. I mean, I'm definitely like way better at sales than I was like 10 months ago, but I think it's a never ending journey and there's like you can always just become better. So I join the sales calls like every week, do sales mock calls every week, record all my calls, review those, and yeah. And now basically the next step and next bottleneck is definitely operations and leadership. So now I'm starting to build out a team. I hired my girlfriend in January as the first full-time position. Now I'm hiring a full-time media buyer. And other than that, I was just working with like one or two freelancers, and now really have to work on like leadership skills and
Oh yeah.
managing the operations and completely new challenge.
Exactly, bro. That's the thing that people don't realize. So I talk about it on these interviews, but I'll have people come through the program and after 6 months they get the results and then they're like, I'm good now. And it's like, well, you figured out how to do the work, but now you need to figure out how to manage people to do the work. And there's just in business, I've learned because I've been in business for years now and I have multiple companies, the coaching program, the SaaS, the agency, and we've been successful with them. But like even today, sitting here today, like I'm not done. I'm not even anywhere close. Like I still have so many problems and bottlenecks and roadblocks that I have to figure out and solve. And so like when someone comes in and after 6 months they hit like 10K a month or their first wildly important goal and they think that they have it all figured out now, I'm just like, dude, like no. But it's just cool to hear your mindset on it. It's like there's always new challenges and always new things to work on and solve. I think it's awesome you hired your girlfriend. I think it's awesome that you're now focused on like team management and becoming a better leader because that's what it is, right? You go from doing all the work yourself to now passing that off to someone else and having to manage them to do the work, hopefully as good as you could do the work. It's so different, bro. So let's go way back for a second to when you first joined the program. Like, how did you even hear about Client Ascension and what were you doing before? Like, did you have an agency? Were you guys generating some revenue? Did you have clients? And why did you make the decision to join?
Great question. Yeah. So I started my business or I started like freelancing, I'd say around 4 years ago. So everything started with like an internship where I had to learn paid advertising for a business and yeah, learned everything like in a month or two. Then immediately started freelancing while I was still studying, still in college, and basically just reached out to local businesses in my area and asked them whether I can run their ads for free for 2 weeks. And if they're happy with the results, then we continue working together. And that's how I got like my first couple of clients. And then I've been just doing that and like kind of freelancing on the side while still studying, finishing college, and all of those things. And I always wanted to transition more into an agency, but I never really managed to get to that point. I was always at around like 5K ish per month in revenue and never really able to do more than that. Then around 2 years ago, I think I finished studying and started doing it full time and definitely wanted to have an agency, but yeah, didn't really know what to do, what the next step is to get more revenue and then be able to start build out the team and make it more of a business rather than just freelancing job. And I'm not even sure how I originally found Client Ascension. It was probably through one of the Twitter posts or something, even though I was not a lot on Twitter. I was like a bit on it, and like the Client Ascension community is very big on there. So you, even if you spend a little bit of time on Twitter or money Twitter, then you you find them. And then I somehow landed on the email list, on Daniel's email list, and just one of the newsletters or the emails resonated with me. And I jumped on the call. Originally, I didn't think I would join. I just wanted to get on the call to get like some more information and figure out like what the offer is about. But yeah, on the call, everything made sense. And I saw that if I do everything that is in the program and get on all the calls, watch all the content, implement all of those steps, that it would be unreasonable for me not to get to 10K or 15K per month in a couple of months.
Yeah.
So it was basically a no-brainer for me to join.
That's awesome, bro. Yeah, I think like it's similar to the story a lot of people have coming into the program is like they're really operating as a freelancer. They're doing work like agency services, but they're doing all the lead gen, all the sales, all the fulfillment, and it's like it's not the most fun time in the business as compared to like building a team. And the cool thing with building a team, bro, and you've probably felt this, especially like with being able to provide an opportunity for your girlfriend, it's like you can provide opportunities to people like that are life changing. Like the team members that we have at Client Ascension, bro, like they love their job. They show up to work every single day, so excited. They get paid super well. They get different perks like being able to attend our in-person events, like they have meaningful work that they can show up and do every day, and it's like that is a result of something that we created. Like that's just the coolest feeling ever. And being able to share like the passion that you have for your business with other people on your team, and then like again with your girlfriend, like that's got to be the coolest thing. Like what's that been like now, having people on your team that like work with you and are as passionate about the work you do as you were this whole time?
Yeah. To be honest, it's still unbelievable for me. And it's still like recently, I just like thought about it for, I think for the first time, that basically just me deciding to play a little bit of business and to do like something online now really impacts a lot of people and a lot of other lives. So, I mean, for the clients, obviously, we were able to scale like a couple of brands to like 7 and 8 figures in revenue and get them like a bunch of sales. And for them, even in the past, they have already been able to expand their team and hire like way more people, which definitely had a big impact. And now also in my agency. So my girlfriend started her first full-time job early January after like finishing college. She hated it. Like from the first day, she called me like after an hour or two that she hates it and that it's unbearable for her, and she can't imagine like going to work every day there. And yeah, I basically immediately just told her, like, why don't you work for me? Because I know that she can provide a lot of value in the business for me. She studied business law, which is not that related to what she's doing now, but she's managing everything in terms of like operations side, reporting, cold emails, and all of those things. Also with hiring, and manages a lot of things in the business now. And she just tells me like probably every week or even more often than that that she just loves her job now, and she's able to work from anywhere, at like have her own hours and just do what she loves and what she enjoys doing. And yeah, that's just great feeling.
I love that, bro. So, like, what are some things you did? So, obviously, you joined Client Ascension, and in the program, we obviously have coaching on like lead gen to get the cold email campaigns going. We have a VSL coach that you talked about working on your VSL and getting that to a point where it was like really where it needed to be. And then obviously with like hiring, like figuring out the systems you need in place to hire the right way and to manage people. Like, so what is it like going through a coaching program? Like, what do you do on a day to day basis in Client Ascension since you joined to like extract as much value and learnings out of it?
So in the beginning, I definitely watched through all of the Kajabi content first, through all of the videos, except for probably the last two, just because they weren't relevant for me yet. So in the beginning, I watched all of the other content and just started to implement as much as possible, as quickly as possible. In the beginning, I also joined pretty much every coaching call I could, just to make sure to extract as much value as I can. But then after a couple of weeks, I dialed back a little bit and made sure to join the calls that are most relevant for me at the stage where I'm at, or where I have like specific questions, specific problems. But for the first, I'd say 3 to 6 months, I was still joining like 5 to 10 coaching calls per week. So like at least one, usually two per day, just to make sure that I get the help that I need and have all the questions answered that I have, and also insights from like other students and from the coaches, just to get as much help as possible. And now I dialed back even more. Currently, I'm joining, I'd say, about 3 to 4 coaching calls per week, usually, and really looking at, there are like 2, 3 coaching calls which are not non-negotiables for me, where I jump on like every week. And then
Which
for
ones
the sales call, then the 7-figure agency coaching call with Connor, and the mindset call with Mario. So those are the 3 non-negotiables for me, and I join pretty much every week those 3 calls. And for the other calls, I try to, like when I have a problem or a specific issue I'm facing, or I need help with a specific aspect of my business, then I try to join that call specifically and then ask that question.
Love that. Yeah, just like week by week. That's the cool thing about the schedule and how we have Client Ascension set up. It's like if you need help with cold email lead gen, there's a call for it every week. If you need help with sales, there's a call for it every week. If you need help with appointment setting, there's a call for it every week. If you need help with response handling to your cold email replies, there's a call for it. And there's also a channel in Slack that's always active every single day with expert coaches that do this stuff at the highest level. So it's cool to hear like how you as a student have like set a schedule. If these are the non-negotiables, and all these other calls, like when I'm feeling I need help, like probably with hiring and onboarding, I've seen you on some of my calls in the past, and it's like you get the help and the support you need in that moment to like overcome that next roadblock you're facing. So it's just really cool. And one of the other things I'm interested in hearing more about is like what has it been like working with your student success coach, right? Because like something that I am super like blessed and privileged to have are a bunch of business partners that like every day if I'm not doing what I need to be doing, they're, texting me and calling me and being like, "Where is this?" And I just feel like a lot of people are solopreneurs or they just don't have a business partner or founder yet, and it makes it really hard to like be self accountable to like make sure you're doing things when someone's not right behind your back checking to make sure that you're doing those things. So like what is it like working with Andy who's just like constantly checking in with you every single week to make sure you're staying on track? How does that help?
A ton. Yeah. I love Andy. And he's great. And he definitely contributed a lot to the success, because I had courses before and like coaching programs and all of those things. And obviously there is unlimited information online on YouTube and all of those things. But the problem is really a lot with the implementation and having the accountability to make sure that you implement all of the things that you learn and stick to the things that you said you were doing. And he's really great with that. I mean, with the business health audit calls every month, we outline like the specific goals for the month, what kind of tasks we need to get done for that. And then basically next month we review what did I manage to get done, what I didn't get done. Also all the agency metrics. So like how many, for example, cold emails I've sent, DMs I've sent, content created, and in how many like sales calls that resulted, how many clients I've closed in the month, and using all of that data and making sure that we can just make sure that I'm accountable and that I implement the tasks. And he also just checks in with me, like I'd say every 2 days, probably at least. He sends me like an email, a message on Slack, where he asks me like how I'm doing, how the tasks are looking, what the to-dos for the week are, or what I am currently struggling with, all of those things. Recently, like last week, I had some personal issues going on, and he immediately reached out and offered to get on a call to just talk things through, and a lot of great things. And it definitely helps a lot.
That's awesome, bro. Yeah, Andy's a beast. Just having the accountability partner there that is like always available to help or just talk through any challenges or questions or things you're thinking about. It's game changer. And so I think that's huge, bro. One of the questions I have is like, so you've gone through the program for a year. So like, what does it look like when you first joined? Like, how did you use the program when you first joined versus now? Like, has it changed? Like, are you going to less calls? Are you using it differently? Are you connecting with students? Like, how do you use it now compared to when you first started Client Ascension?
Yeah, definitely joining less calls now. So in the beginning, it was probably like 10 calls per week. Then it
Wow,
went down to like 5. And now it's like between 4 to 5, I'd say. Some weeks it's only like 2 or 3 if I'm like very busy and don't have like any time. But usually I try to hop on like between 3 to 5 calls and really make sure that I'm only hopping on the calls where I have like either a specific problem or need some help with, have an issue, or yeah, it's just something that is currently important for me in my business and where I'm at. I'm still like on Slack, I'm still active every day and connecting with people. And that's also a huge part of the program. And just the community is great. And like if you have any questions, even if it's not really business related, you can just like shoot a message in the Slack channel and you have like a bunch of business owners and like agency owners who are just able to help you with like personal insights and all of those things. Also connecting with a lot of great students, and I'm getting clients from it through like referrals nowadays, which is also great. I think last month I closed 2 clients through like referrals in Client Ascension, like from people in Client Ascension, which is also great. And I'm also trying to refer like my clients if they need help with like email marketing or website development, conversion rate optimization, or like real conversion rate optimization, like in depth. Then I try to like refer them to someone in Client Ascension.
love that, bro. Yeah, getting clients and like deals from within the community is such an under talked about value add of being in a growing agency community like Client Ascension. Because like that, I was thinking about that too. Because you do like ads for e-commerce and like website enhancements. I feel like most people do email marketing, so all the email marketing guys can just pass you off clients that they can't help with ads or websites. But if you help them with ads and websites, their email marketing services are even more valuable. So it's like a win-win, and you can create those win-wins with people in Client Ascension, especially being in there for as long as you have. Like, you're a household name now, as they say, right? Like, people know who you are. You've been around. You're not new. You're not a stranger. You've built up a reputation in the program where people trust you to reach out to you and do these sorts of deals and partnerships. So have you seen that as well? Like the complementary agency relationships with other people that just do different services for the same ICP?
Yeah, definitely. And especially with the email marketing guys, I've had some good referrals coming through.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. So just for the audience, just to kind of like recap. So like when you first joined the program, you're kind of in the freelancer world and you're getting a couple of clients every month. What was your revenue back then? Like ballpark before you joined?
It fluctuated a lot, but I'd say the average was like 6K.
6K a month. And then now I know you're coming off a record month. If you're willing to share the number or not, doesn't matter. But where are you at now as a business? And then I have a final question here as well.
Yeah, definitely. So last month was a record month. We hit 25K in revenue. Um, yeah, so it was like 24K euros.
That's awesome, bro. I mean, that's huge, especially going from 6K, and probably the best part about that, but correct me if I'm wrong, it's more consistent, it's more reliable because you have the team in place, you have the lead gen system in place, you have the sales process figured out more than before. So you can build on that a lot more confidently than, hey, we had 6K last month as a freelancer, but I don't know if I can do that again this month.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So what's next, bro? What's the next wildly important goal for you, and kind of what's the plan of attack to get there?
So in terms of revenue, the widely important goal is 50K per month by the end of this year. But other than that, I'm currently really focusing on building out a team, hiring great people and helping them become even better and really like dial in the training, the onboarding, the SOPs to make sure that the fulfillment is as good as it is right now or even better without me being like managing all of the things and doing all of the fulfillment. And then, yeah, just scaling from there.
I love it, bro. And I think it's a great goal to double revenue. I mean, you basically 5x the revenue in a year. So you have, 6 months to double it. I mean, the momentum really starts to take effect once you get to some of these levels. But one of the questions I have too that I love to ask agency owners, because I think it's important, especially if there's people watching this that are like, Andre is someone that maybe I should partner with or work with if they're an e-commerce brand owner, maybe. Like, what are you doing and what have you done in the program? Maybe some things you've learned that you've implemented that have helped you to become a better service provider. Because I feel like everyone talks about, like, I got help with lead gen, I got this lead gen system going, I got this sales process dialed in. But what about like as a service provider? Like, how have you improved your services and just the work that you do for clients?
I'd say the two biggest things are, even though we're not like you're not teaching them directly in client ascension, but I definitely learned a lot in those, and that's leadership and communication. I mean, Mario does a bit of like leadership coaching, but other than that, just from being with all of the business owners in the coaching program and just being on all the coaching calls, you learn a lot of leadership skills and communication skills. And I think those help me the most in improving my service, just because I'm able to communicate with my clients better, like be upfront with what kind of results we can expect to get them, then tell them if whether we are able to hit the goals or not, like what we tried, what worked, what didn't work, what we're currently working on. And then also being upfront with them if I think that something will not work. So there are a lot of clients that sometimes think they know something better than you, or they think that if we launch a specific advertising campaign that they will get sales, but I just look at it and I see that it will not work the way they expect it to be. And back in the days I probably wouldn't have said it or told them. I just do it anyways because they want me to do it. But now I'm way better at like telling them it will not work that way. And if you want to get the results, we have to do it a different way. We have to do it our way. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, it comes from the confidence of seeing that your way actually works. And I think a lot of people struggle with that early on because they just don't have the social proof or the experience built up to see that. But you do, and that's a powerful confidence that you can walk into client meetings and stuff with. So, anyways, bro, that's really all I have for you here today. The last question I have for you is just where can our audience find you, follow you, and just learn more about the services you provide? Where can they find you on the internet and just learn more?
yeah. So the agency is Holo Growth, HOLO growth.com. And I'm mostly on Twitter, now starting to do some YouTube content and reposting it on TikTok, Instagram, and all of those websites. So there's, I think, Andre.tuma. Yeah.
Awesome, bro. Well, dude, thank you so much for coming on. I think it's amazing what you've accomplished just in the last year being in the program and just the things you're doing with your agency and your team. And I just can't wait to catch up with you later this year to see where you're at with everything and how things have just continued to grow and improve and even new challenges that you come across and face, how you've been able to overcome those. It's always makes for a great story. So,
Yeah, me too. Me too. Thank you for having me. And thank you for building out Client Ascension.
yeah, absolutely, bro. My pleasure. All right, take it easy, bro. Peace.
Peace.